Welcome back to Biz Audio. My name is Max, and it has been another busy day in the radio and audio industry. So, the Smallzy show will now air Friday nights, 7 to 8 p.m. across the ARN Regional network. That's right, Smallzy is moving even more national, if he wasn't national enough already. But yeah, look, ARN announced that today. He would be stepping into a brand new show, or it's a new rollout of the Smallzy show, 7 to 8 p.m. And Smallzy show has been number one from 7 to 9 p.m. slot in Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, and Adelaide for people 10 plus or people 25 to 54. So 7 to 8 p.m. Launches this Friday, every Friday. It's not a daily thing, it's only a Friday night thing. But I guess this sort of replaces the KJ Hour of Power, although that was from 6 to 7 p.m. Well, sort of, but not really. But anyway, so that was interesting to see that ARN is looking to get Smallzy out to a more national audience, moving him to... I'm surprised they didn't do it Monday to Friday, but it's only an hour highlight, but that's fun to see that ARN's adding more to their regional lineup. And of course, the budget came out last night, and there was much to say on talk radio this morning. I don't want to go too much into politics because I can't get out of it. But yeah, look, Brian Blacklock has officially retired from radio after 45 years. He's the senior business manager at Tapped Media. Of course, Tapped Media only came into play about 13 days ago, but he was also at Sydney's 2SM. He was the general sales manager, and before that, he was 15 years at ARN, working in senior sales positions. He was also at WSFM and other stations like that. I'm really excited to see, though, what's happening with Chris Fade. I really, really hope that he comes to Australia and moves out of Dubai. I think he's done enough in Dubai. I would love to see him come to Australia. But what that could look like, look, I would only think that he could be broadcasted into Sydney. I'm not saying that he couldn't do a national show, but I think Sydney market would suit him better. Of course, you have to build up a brand. He's been in Dubai for so long. Most Sydney-siders would not have heard him on the radio because he was on the radio at The Edge back about, 15 years ago. But I think that a good plan would look like having him doing the breakfast show in Sydney for a few years, and if that's successful in the ratings, then possibly rolling him out, even on DAB, like they've done with the Christian O'Connell show. But also even putting him on FM in Melbourne. But Melbourne, that's going to be an interesting one. It has not had a lot of love and care and attention for the past few years. The other day actually marked, a few days ago actually marked the 2-year anniversary of KJ's launch. Not that they made it for 2 years, but April 29th that was. But yeah, look, I think that even Chris Fade could be broadcasted nationally, but it really does depend who is put on Kiss Breakfast next. It could just be Mikey in Brooklyn, which I think is also a very, very good lineup. But of course, Mayo has been filling in this week in the chair. And I'm also happy to say that a next episode or next interview of Biz Audio will be Pete Depler, intern Pete, will be joining Biz Audio to chat about his brand new role and his time at the Carl and Jackie O show and at ARN and what goes into making a great radio producer. So that's something to look forward to for next episode. But yeah, look, the radio industry never ceases to impress. I guess a lot of the news recently has been more focused on ARN than many other networks. Of course, I actually chatted to Spiro Christopoulos the other day. So my school had a information night, and I was chatting to him for about an hour. A great bloke, and he's been at 2GB for a while. And I was asking him how the transition went from 9 to Tapped Media. And look, apparently there wasn't much difference. And we can see that as well. There hasn't been any program changes. Although it's early on, only 2 weeks in, there hasn't been any changes from what I've seen. Only the branding, of course, Tapped Media. Actually, no, I'll take that back. There has been one change. Wide World of Sports has been changed to Sports Today. That's pretty much the only change that I've seen so far. But look, I think that Tapped Media could work out. It really depends. They do have good leadership, but I think they need to put some more love and care into stations like 4BC and 6PR.